Hello and welcome to my video on the 2024 Echo Red to Red mountain bike race. Here we're seeing the Cat 2 rollout. I missed the Cat 1 rollout earlier, but you can see there are quite a few participants here in the Cat 2 rollout.
That e-bike class is tiny compared to this.
Oh, there's a tandem. Look at that. Awesome.
What?
There's a tandem. I didn't know they had a tandem class.
Oh. There's one guy with a yellow plate in there.
Oh yeah, there's some 600s.
I've seen two yellows in there.
Yeah.
In this race, we had a neutral rollout that I think was about 1.5 miles in length. It was paced by a truck ahead. Me and my son, we both rode this race in our various classes. One of the things that I've learned, and really the first lesson of this race, is that we needed to get in the front of this neutral rollout. And this is because everybody got stretched out. And once we got to the single track, I found that I was bunched up behind riders that were hard for me to pass, especially where I'm faster on downhills and then rolling into an uphill section. I would have to roll down the downhill, get on my brakes because there was someone ahead, and then have to grind out going up the uphill, which pretty much put me at a disadvantage overall. This is a prime section where you'll see I tried to pace myself back a little bit just so I could roll into it a little faster, and even taking it easy, I was already at the back of the group, having to slow down more, and basically got up into here and had to get on the brakes. I couldn't roll further, which would have helped me in this next little climb and save some energy. What I found is that I ended up basically running a high heart rate this entire race. I was at a heart rate of over 150 for an hour on this race, and the remainder of the time I spent about 30 minutes at a little bit below the 150 threshold. But really, in a 5-zone model, I was in zone 5 for the bulk of the time, and the rest of the time I was in zone 4. So I was pushing pretty hard during this entire race. Now we're getting into a section where I learned my second lesson of this race, and that is I need a dropper post, even for a cross-country race. I'm running 155 cranks. I like those cranks a lot, but it means that my seat height is very high, and I had some challenges remounting my bike and staying in balance, especially on this rough terrain. Where right here, when these folks ahead ended up stopping, I tried to remount, ended up losing my balance, going down the stupid hill a little bit, and having to then wait for the pack of people to move by me. And now all of a sudden I lost a bunch of positions, and all that work was for naught.
Thank you. That ain't gonna work. No, thanks.
Here I am later stages of this race, and I started getting into a little bit better flow, which was great. I had gotten past a lot of the riders that were stacking me up earlier in the race. Here we're in a section that's a little more technical. Ended up getting brake checked just a little bit right there. Was able to get back on it. And while I wasn't able to get any passing done in this section, I was able to, in essence, catch my breath a little bit, relax, and in general just get into the flow of the mountain bike riding. Here we're getting to the end of the single track section, of which we had about 9 miles of single track in this race, out of about 14.5 mile total distance. And this section was a lot of fun. It was fast. Unfortunately, I still couldn't turn it loose because I was right behind these guys, and I didn't want to try to do an off-road excursion to get around them. So I just kind of sat back, caught my breath, waited for an opportunity that I knew was going to come here in a little bit when we merged back onto the gravel road that took us towards the finish line. So here I'm able to finally get in a pass, but then we have what is a big time grinder of an uphill on this gravel. And by then my legs were pretty well shot, and it really hurt going up this gravel road climb. So here I am cruising along fairly quickly. We're on the flatter part of the gravel road, heading back towards the town of Echo to the finish line. At this point I started to realize on the faster sections that I was geared too low, and I was running a 30 front chainring with a rear cassette that was an 11 by 48 rear cassette. It was a 1 by 11 setup, and during the faster downhill sections on this gravel road, as well as the faster downhill section on the paved road coming up, I was tapped out. I had to just go into a bit of a tuck because I really had no more gear to push. As you can see here, I'm pretty much tapped out. I'm just going ahead and catching a breather. I'm doing a little bit of a tuck, trying to get a bit of an arrow position just to maintain some speed. Trying to make up some time on my competitors. This race was a timed race overall. Initially, when we turned onto this gravel road off of the paved road, that started the start timer, is what I'm understanding. And then at the finish line, down the road here a little ways, we had the finish line that then ended the timing. We had an electronic timing chip that was on our zip tied on our fork, and that electronic timing chip then gave us real-time results, which was pretty cool, and one of the neat aspects of this race. At this point, I was just pushing for all I could, trying to make up time.
Thank you.
This last little section, when you know you're coming up towards the finish line, actually you get a bit of an adrenaline rush here. Allows you to start pumping a little more because you got the adrenaline kicking in. And it was actually a pretty fun little section coming in to the town for the finish line.
Thank you.
And there we have it. That was the race. Thank you for watching. Please click the like and subscribe button.